Oops, sorry. Thank you for the raid, Alex. I'll be with you in a bit. We're gonna talk about the Brooklyn Comic Con review. So I'm a little excited about it, but hold on tight. Thank you for the raid. I'll be back in a bit. testing. Alrighties. Oh, oops. I don't know what happened here. There we go, much better. Alright. Sorry for the wait. Thank you for patiently waiting. Oh, okay. I want you to take my apologies about that. Oh, if I didn't drop anything. Okay. Well, it's live. It's live. Okay, yeah, I need you to see my buddies over here. My co-hosts. There, you can see my co-hosts. There they are. Okay, so 12:18 a.m. New York City time. It's Filipino, yeah, Filipino time. Okay, yeah. Okay, I screwed up. All right, but I was preparing and all that stuff. I always think I'm gonna take about like X amount of minutes, but it takes longer than I think. Man, this is BS for Brooklyn Comic Con. Talk about trash. Yep, I'm actually gonna go over the summary of this. This is the Twitch version and YouTube version, of course, and I'm gonna read also from this review as well. But this one, what stands out from the Instagram version, the Instagram version is the thesis. Okay, this one is the presentation. So you're gonna see more pictures. All right, Brooklyn Comic Con 2022 review. Very tough with it. Okay, 4 out of 10. I'm gonna explain. All right, and this is out of tough love. I'll be honest with you. Okay, I want this con to do well. We have a lot of issues here. Hey, Nikki, did you, I'm so excited. This is my Brooklyn Comic Con review. Thank you for dropping by, and let's get started. Okay, so this one was held at the Breeze in East Williamsburg. It's an event space, all right, which seems underdeveloped. I'm gonna show you the pictures for it. Oh, you saw the review? Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for the rest of it. I'm gonna show you. There's actually more picture. I'm gonna show pictures. All right. I did some. I mean, every time I go to cons, I do my best to not only have fun, but for some reason, for me, having fun also meant exploring the entire con from top to bottom, left to right, because you paid for the con. You want to make the most out of the money you spend. And so I collect information and I find it kind of fun and interactive and all that stuff. And, I encourage other people to do it as well, to be critical thinkers and try to analyze and all that stuff. So I do that with all the cons. All right. So this is its third year. Brooklyn Comic Con was founded in 2019. I'll be honest with you, I feel as though this was kind of a replacement, maybe unintentional, to BoroCon. If you remember BoroCon, it took place in only 2017, 2018. 2017 in St. John's, and that one didn't do pretty well. But it didn't fall apart. 2018, it did better, but for some reason, they could not materialize after 2018. And then there comes Brooklyn Comic Con. So this kind of took the place of BoroCon. BoroCon, last time it took place was in Brooklyn Expo Center in 2018, and then the year after that, 2019, Brooklyn Comic Con debuted at the same venue. And then 2020, COVID came, canceled. 2021, it was held in not one but two venues, because on Saturday it was on Brooklyn Navy Yard. It was supposed to be there in 2 days, but Sunday. So this is 2021. So Sunday, we got hit by a tropical storm, and most of New York City was flooded. And they had to reschedule the Sunday to Brooklyn Expo Center, but this time it wasn't inside the venue, it was outdoors. So 2021 was outdoors because at the time, COVID was still going on and all that. COVID's still going on right now, but we're improving. All right. So in the third year, they found another location because Brooklyn Expo Center converted into some kind of a ninja warrior type of gym. So they had to move. Remember, Brooklyn Comic Con has like 2 to 3 different tiers for the congoers. Anyone who registered as a cosplayer gets perks for using the room as storage from 2019. Well, there's none of that here. So it's a good thing you didn't come to it. But that's why I'm here. I feel I didn't want to do the investigative work, but unfortunately had I had to expose a lot of these things because we can't have cons do this. But again, we'll get to that. All right, let's give it a little intro here. So third year, different location each time. So I will say, just as a heads up, the con and the venue are both at fault for this score. Okay, I don't really blame too much with the staff per se, because I know they were trying their best, but the con as a whole did not do very well. I also feel that regardless, your stuff ain't safe. Baggage check is non-existent, so your stuff will get snatched up. Yeah, exactly. So you always have to bring your stuff with you. I never bring my wallet in my pocket because I know someone will take it away. Also, my mod DJ Nikki Zem also posted on the story that one of the vendors in Brooklyn Comic Con had about $2,000 stolen. $2,000 made from selling merch stolen, and I reposted it on my story. So please support. I'm actually don't even know who the person is. I can't believe it because I had a DM. So, oops, sorry. What's this person's name? I'll Judged Arts. So please support Judged Arts on Instagram. All right. So please follow him. All right. Give him the support. All right. You don't have to, if you want to buy something from him, great. Okay. Just let's and also, if anyone has any leads into who stole the money and whatnot, please let not only Judged Arts know, but also let Brooklyn Comic Con staff know. So it's very, very important. I don't even know if there's even security cameras on it now that I think about it. So anyway, I can't even wait to get into the nitty gritty, but we're not even there yet. So anyway, so Brooklyn Comic Con, I put down the small local con with the basics, but based on the crowd that I'm seeing here, it seems to be going towards medium. All right, because as you'll see in the next few slides with the pictures, you'll see a lot of people. This one you see in the picture here, this is actually the Saturday after party. And this was held, out of all places, a roller skating rink. And you see all these little these hills there, right over here. The thing is, there were actually a few people actually roller skating while there's a crowd there, and I don't find that safe. So that's just something to point out. Okay, if there's gonna be a crowd like this, there shouldn't be any roller skating. All right, just putting it out there. Okay, so some of the this con consists of a third floor which has the vendors and merch. There is only one panel room, and that is located in the second floor. And somehow, due to the lack of staffing and whatnot, so they can only do one panel room, and all the panels are held in that room in the second floor. Not only that, there's actually other rooms as well. There's actually one room I'm actually forgot to put in there. There is a '90s living room. I didn't have the picture for that one, but it's not a lot of stuff in there. It's like there's these N64 whatnot. So, but it could also be used as just a place to hang out and relax as well. So there are autographs, but those autographs are mainly from the big guests. So Chef Mary Lou Davis, she's from Hell's Kitchen. She's a chef and a cosplayer at the same time. So also we're gonna shout out to, she's also on Twitch. Shout out to Geeks and Grubs. I don't know if it works. Anyway, so just a shout out. So just let's go go follow her. Okay, she cooked. She prepared bento boxes, and they sold out really fast. It tastes amazing. All right, and I'll share that in a bit. All right, so they had a small gaming area in a little section of the in the third floor in the vendor hall, and they also had a cosplay runway in the middle of the vendor hall, and there was a long line, and there were and there were two after parties. The one on Sunday was actually a happy hour. I could not find that. I found the address, but I couldn't find it. So, but you know, all in all, this con needs a lot of work. All right, just be happy. I'm just happy that it did not collapse on its head. So let's start with the good. The good thing is that it's easy to get to, at least from my house. All right, so you can take the L train to get there. I haven't seen a lot of buses pass by in that area, but just take the L train to the Montrose Avenue station. It's about a 7 to 10 minute walk. The social environment is great. I think if because the attendees, cosplayers, vendors, and all the people in the con be mainly behaved. I think in general, I think for the most part we all behaved. The con didn't fall apart. So it was great to see a lot of cosplayers. Great to see the attendees and the vendors. I looked through Saturday and Sunday. I went through all the tables and looked around and explored. And a few of my friends were vending. Despite the small size, there was a big turnout. So I'm gonna show you. This is the turnout. So this is just one section of it. There was a lot of people there. And then in the middle of it, people are hanging out. You see this red thing over here? That's where the cosplay runway shows. I think anyone just line up and then they just go down the runway. I didn't see any judges there, but what you also see here is that even one of the things I complained about is that none of the lighting is on. Now the thing is, if the sun is shining, like in this case, this is fine. But the lighting from the outside, the natural light was not always consistent. Sometimes it was raining, sometimes it was cloudy, and other times it was sunny. But when you go more away from the windows, if you're more in the middle of the building, the lighting's much less. I know in the morning there was a lack of lighting. Okay, anyway, that I'll get to in a bit. So let's see here. Okay, back to this. So as you can see, this is the vendor hall right here and here. So it took up the whole third floor with lots of vendors and merch. At least that's what I thought. The favorite part, which I'll get to, which you see the food, is meeting Chef Mary Lou Davis. All right, so she's on Geeks and Grubs on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and also here in Twitch. And there she is. She's doing the gender bend of Tengenusui, the sound Hashira from Demon Slayer. Then there is her two helpers, two of her helpers. She had a few more helpers as well, preparing the bento. I felt bad for them simply because, and I'll talk about it in a bit, but the con started pretty late. On that Saturday, they started 1 hour late. So she wasn't given time to prepare the bento. And also the panel schedules were screwed up a bit and they had to be delayed. So yeah. Also, just look at that. Look at all that preparation. There's the onions. I forgot what it looks like. Green onions. This is the eggs. This is the bacon. And she was cooking it. It was amazing. I feel hungry right now. I hear all the spices. And this is the merch that she sold. This is all the rice. These are the bento boxes. She had to make another batch. It took her about 20-30 minutes to make another batch. But you know what? A lot of times with cooking, you don't want to rush things. But yeah, so that's her logo there. And then that's all the preparations. So all these people were cooking. This person was actually doing falafel wraps. And, there was a long line. Actually, I didn't take a picture of the line, but trust me on it, it was a long line. So yeah. So we're gonna take out my notes for this one here. So now that's as good as we can go. That's it. That's the good. We're gonna get to the bad. This is just a few of the issues. Just a I okay. So how much was the bento? I didn't know about the outside. I don't know how much, but I know the VIP event for Chef Mary Lou Davis was $25. I don't understand why it's $25. Okay, it should have been a free event, and then you just pay for the bento. I was hanging outside 6 p.m., so that was packed up. Yeah. So 40 to 60 minutes late with long lines on both days. There you have it. Saturday, day one, the line went around the block, and the con opened 1 hour late. Sunday, similar situation. This time, they opened the con a little over 40 minutes late. No, it wasn't $25 for a bento. It was $25 for the VIP event. But I wanted to meet her. So I met her. But I don't know how much the bento was. I also, because some of the food prices I've seen were, I think it was, I had to pay, I think, $7 if I'm not mistaken for. Actually, I saw Berg. I have the picture here. All right, I didn't send this one, but smash burger with fries $15, chicken tender with fries $15, wing 6 piece $12, jalapeno cheddar $10. I think that's with the for the fries. Plain fries $7, soda's $3, water is $3. Okay, there is a water fountain. You don't need to pay $3 for water. Okay, chips is $1, Gatorade's $5. Ugh, seriously. So, day one, 1 hour late. Day two, 40 hours late. 40 hours, 40 minutes late. All right. So I walked to McDonald's 12 minutes from the venue. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Okay. So day two. Oh, this is what I do not understand. How come? Okay, day one I can understand you're busy trying to set up, but day two it's delayed. Don't you have everything set up from Saturday? Why do you have Sunday being delayed? That does not make sense. That was during the party. It ain't that far. Oh, I see. Yes. So I wasn't paying attention. I was just focusing on trying to stay in the venue because I didn't want to go stray too far from it. I gotta tell you, this is there. If you read my Instagram post on my 5 part review, you get a full detail of it. I'm just showing you what I have it on my iPhone and I took pictures with. So the con had a 40 to 60 minute late start with long lines on both days, as you can see here. Entry to the venue was confusing and limited, and only one was used for that long ass line. Accessibility is subpar. Okay, now when for the for opening when they opened the doors, only one entrance was open, and everyone had to go through this. Okay, so I don't know who built this thing. These stairs are way too narrow. Okay, that's kind of a fire hazard. All right, the stairs should be like 3 times wider, to be honest with you. All right, and there are only two of these sets of there's only two stairs, one on each on each end, and then each one has an elevator. Only one of the elevators were working. So for those who can't use the stairs, for those who are in wheelchairs, you only have one place to go to. How I know only one of two elevators were working because I tried both of them. One of them, I pressed the button, the door opened, I closed, I pressed to go to another floor. It didn't move, so I opened the door and I got out. It's so I mean the con's not doing pretty well. in my opinion, the venue has some work to do. I mean, it looks like it's 90% finished, not 100%. It's. I told one friend of mine who was vending that it was undercooked. All right, so you get some of it cooked, but the other part it still needs work to be done. Okay, so, whew, all right. So access points to each of the floors were limited. I got lost early because I saw no floor maps and signage was lacking. But later in the day, finally there was signage. This one seems kind of misleading. All right. Now, third floor. This is on a second floor, and this was I posted on the story, and it's now in my highlights. So main hall. That's really the vendor hall. That's the third floor. So at when the doors opened, everyone was forced to go to the third floor. The second floor, and by the way, that down arrow, it's not. Remember, this is on the second floor. This is not below that. This is actually behind you. If you look at the sign, the panel room in 90s living room is actually behind you. If you look at the sign, so they should have put that little about face sign, about face arrow, and then floor one is going downstairs. That's a bag check only for entry, and then that's your outdoor place. I don't know if I have the picture for that, but I did post it I think earlier, as an intro that I'm gonna do the Twitch stream and all that. So that's there. There were a few food options, but there's also long lines for that too. Surprise! That's the next thing. There's no mask mandate, and I forgot to put that there, but it's in the Instagram one. But yeah, those are just few of the many issues. So I'm gonna read it then. So here we go. Let me put this here. See all these lines and all that? So at one point, only one of the stairs had access to all the floors, and the other only had access to the first and third floors. On day two, there were, actually, yeah. So this is one of them. And so what they had to do is they had to get one of the venue staff to open the doors, so they could eventually both staircases have access to all the three floors. So next thing is that on day two, this is the day two line. There were two lines. There was a gold pass and the general line. And the general line is for this. So if you have a badge, you belong in this line. If you don't have a badge, you belong in this line, which is stupid. Okay? There should be a line for those who already have badges. This is not fair for those who got their badges. Okay? So now overall access to the bathroom was also subpar. There are only three, so three men's room, three women's rooms, so they're together, and then in between there was a water fountain. Okay, so but the thing is though, access is pretty bad because it's in the middle, and then the stairs are on the sides, and it takes a little bit of walking to get there. And if you do go to the bathroom, so you probably know, this is the second floor men's room. And a friend of mine told me this is actually one of the better bathrooms. Take it for what it is. If you go on the third floor, where there's more people, there we go. So this one I actually posted on Instagram as well. This is unacceptable. See, I see a few beer cans. This actually said cerveza, which means beer in Spanish. Look at this. This is disgusting. Very disgusting. I don't think I've ever seen a con have bathrooms this dirty. And I blame it to both the venue and the con, especially the venue. They get the most of the blame. They gotta stop being lazy and they gotta clean this. I can't say this word. They gotta clean this up. This is unacceptable. Very unacceptable. So I said it was disgusting, with bottles all over, with garbage overfilling, with used toilet paper, as you can see here. And some of it were, well, in this case, a lot of it is on the floor. And then a friend of mine told me that the third floor women's restroom also had similar issues like this. And there was one case on the third floor for the women's room where the door to one of the toilets, uh, it it was off its hinges basically, well, the top part. So basically, the door is broken. You can't use it. How can you use the toilet if the door is broken? Okay. All right. Let's get back to the list. All right. So outside food and drink not allowed, and I was very pissed off about that. Okay. And I asked that staff member. I'm actually going to show you. It's her over here. I asked her, okay, I went to all the other cons and I was able to bring fluids. And I have a 1.5 liter bottle because I get thirsty. And if I don't stay hydrated, I'm gonna pass out. My face is gonna fall flat onto the floor. So I asked them, why you don't let us bring fluids? She said, because we sell them. I don't make up the rule. I just enforce them, which is a stupid answer. So security was also unfair. I had 2 pepper sprays confiscated. Okay, so they checked the bags like crazy. Like, I understand, but we got to get something a little bit better than that. Okay, that'll help speed up the lines. Okay, if you saw my review on Anime Boston, they did a great job on that. So, at least they weren't infringing on people's privacy. But I think it's a little bit more expensive, so I can understand why they wouldn't put that. So, anyway. The other thing, the lesson I learned from this is try not to bring too much stuff with you. I did that on Saturday, and then Sunday I had a lighter bag. And then on Saturday morning, as they were checking the bags, they even said about not allowing umbrellas because they're pointy. Are you freaking serious? This is like, we're in this kind of season, even though it's not really summer yet. We're almost there, but it can rain at any time at this point, especially when it gets humid. When you can feel the humidity, you can tell if it's gonna rain or not. You can actually smell it. So, and then con setup was incomplete as people were let in when the con opened, even though it was 60 minutes late. So we're gonna go back to the venues again. So as you can see here, even though the lighting looks good because it's uninterrupted, some areas can get a little bit darker than that. Okay, I kid you not. All right, there's no lighting. None of the lights were on. Now, if you're by the windows, okay, that's fine. But if you're away from the windows, that's another story. But I guess that's the least, at this point, I think that's probably the least of the problems. Okay, so there's more. I ain't finished yet. This looks worse than an early Melee tournament. Wow. So now, there's also communication gaps as well, especially between con and attendees. And one of the examples is schedule changes. Schedules are being changed because of the lateness and all that was going on. And, not everyone checks social media right away because we're hanging out in the con and we're looking at, we're at the vendors and we're also at the panels. I've been to the panels. Okay, I had my notifications on. I didn't even get it. But anyway, I also noticed the con was also understaffed. I didn't do much. I did my shoot Saturday with RX Superstar, only a few shoots. Just the space venue was crowded. Yeah, that's where most of the people were, which is typical with most cons anyway. And I also noticed that the con was understaffed, and some don't even seem adequately trained or knowledgeable when I got lost, which is another communication gap. But I do think they're doing their best. I'll be honest with you. And also, I felt, they didn't use most of the space. There's actually space on the roof. There's rooftop space that they didn't even use. Also, what I found out was Phil Lamar is one of the guests. So he's from Mad TV. He's also a voice actor as well. And there were not enough chairs. And in addition to that, the Saturday after party was in the roller skating area. So you'll see in the intro here, this is the roller skating area. Damn, I only wanted to go just to see Philomar. I actually saw him. I wasn't really, I didn't really, I saw him, but I didn't really meet him. I'm like not too crazy over him or whatnot. So I'm not. I first knew him through Mad TV because he was a cast member. By the way, I miss Mad TV. SNL is okay, Saturday Night Live, but Mad TV was like was like cutting edge. Okay, so it was in a roller skating area with some roller skating. As I stated earlier, it was a safety hazard, at least for me. I saw him, but the line was crowded. Yep, that's right. Even his panel was crowded. For the Sunday happy hour, which would take place after the con, I went with Serotonin Shots. That's Joe. He's a photographer. I went with Taylor, so she's Skygrazer Studios. I know DJ Nikki's them. I don't know Alex if you met these two, but I know Nikki knows those two very well. Then there was one other cosplayer. I forgot his name, but anyway. So we went to 17 Meadow Street, so that's where the happy hour would have taken place on Sunday. Nothing was found, so we went home. And also, there was alcohol sold throughout the con. So where you see these food stations, there was actually alcohol sold on the third floor at the vendor hall. There was alcohol sold outside, and that's not acceptable. All right, There was also alcohol served in the after party, but it was only 21 plus. That's okay, but this con, there's everyone of all ages attended this con. Even if a person is at legal age and bought alcohol, there's still a risk to it. Okay, if you're not careful. So I really, 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 please, if you're gonna do the for next year, please don't put alcohol. Don't make it readily available. Please don't. All right, do it only in the 21 plus parties or events. Just a thought, okay? Also, what I forgot to post was that there were two things stated on the website that actually did not happen this year at this Brooklyn Comic Con. There are these weird challenges. I haven't seen those. So one of the examples that they post on the website was a dunk tank. The other one was wrestling. Last year they had wrestling, not just on on Saturday, but also on a Sunday. But they were held at different dates due to the weather. This year there was no wrestling. So, yeah, I can't believe I went through this pretty quickly. Because I wrote 3 parts. Just 3 of the 5 parts of my Instagram review was all the bad, the negative, that needs to be fixed. So I also have some reflections, which I should have written there. So my reflection is that the convention and venue both need to be held accountable and should be responsible and should be blamed for all these issues that I've laid out. And despite what I've seen, though, as you can see with these crowds and all that, especially with the lack of preparation, organization, the con still held together. There were, people still have fun and all that. All right, it could have gotten worse, like DashCon, for example. That's why you don't hear a lot of people in the con scene talk about DashCon, because it's a disaster. And many of us had a great time, at least from what I'm hearing. The cosplayers and friends at the con helped make this weekend worthwhile. That being said, I understand planning and preparing to make cons or even events in general a reality is not easy. So I understand that it takes a lot of money, time, effort, resources, blood, sweat, and tears, and more importantly, people to get this going. At the same time, this is not the first con that they've held. Okay, I've said that they've they've been holding this since 2019. Things should have been learned in the past, just like with Anime NYC. What's a good con for American animation if you know one? I'll be honest with you. You go to a general con. I like New York Comic Con personally. There is San Diego Comic Con. The only problem with these two cons, it's very hard to get into. All right, you have to go through a pretty tough ticketing process simply because there are scalpers out there. All right, so there are also smaller cons as well, but one website that I recommend is fancons.com. That's the website that I use. So fancons.com. Yeah, I'm looking for something smaller. Yep. So that'll give you a whole list of it. Actually, I have a few websites as well. I'll probably type them down for you. All right. So I have animecons.com, but that's for anime. I love anime. So there is also conventionscene.com. Put that there. Okay, rostercon. These are the sites I have in my notes here. Rostercon.com. Okay. Upcoming cons.com. Cosplay. Okay, conventioncenter.com. Don't quote me if some of the sites are broken though. And comicconventionlist.com, comiccons.xyz, and I don't know if this is correct, but gamesradar.com/amp/comic conventions. All right, they're all there. So enjoy, and you can still lurk, you can still listen to me. So anyway, let me continue with my reflection here. If wait, let me get to my notes. There you go. Okay, so I understand that it takes a lot of time, money, effort, resources, blood, sweat, and tears, and more importantly, people to get this going. This is not the first con that they've held. Okay, things should have been learned in the past, just like with Anime NYCs. Remember that debacle when they had their line con? Their line con was ginormous, and in the cold too. I just hope this year is a teachable moment for those who want to hold cons or events. Whether I recommend this con to someone, oh, actually, I should have wrote when it comes to recommending this con to someone, I don't feel recommend. I don't feel confident unless it gets its act together. Seriously, I really want cons to succeed. I want people to have a great time and meet new and existing friends. No one deserves to have a bad experience. So, anyway, that's my summary and my show and tell of my Brooklyn Comic Con review. All right, so the most information you'll see is really on Instagram. I posted on Instagram first because I really need people to read this. I also tagged Brooklyn Comic Con. I tagged the venue, the Breeze, NYC, and I also tagged Sexy Nerds. Sexy Nerds is the organizer of this con. And I hope, they learn from this. And I'll be honest with you, I don't mean to be mean or I don't mean to be a pain in the ass, but this is the experience I had. You don't have to go to this. It already passed. Oh, by the way, Ordinary Clover, I want to ask you a question. Where are you from? You can just tell me the city. You don't have to be too specific. But I'm just letting you know I'm from New York City. So, and I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Dean. I'm called Dr. Dean. Oh, you're from Chicago. I'm thinking about going because I have a seminar there. I want to go to a seminar there for pharmacy. I have relatives in Chicago as well. My cousin got married in Schaumburg, and so I really, really want to go. I have people telling me to go to Anime Central. That's near O'Hare, I think. That's in Rosemont, Illinois. So I think that's a suburb. Is it? Anyway, I don't know much about Chicago. I just know that there is Lake Michigan. Chicago is a city. No, come on. New York City has more rats. We have the bigger ones too. I mean, in the streets and in the subways. So anyway, we're gonna switch gears a little bit. We're gonna get to the subways. I'll be right back. Testing. Let's see if it works. All right. No, didn't come up. Now does it come up? Exit. Save this. Let me see if I can get this out. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Let's do this. So, so Ordinary Clover, this is the New York City subway map. Okay, this is the largest subway in the country. We have about what 26 lines. All right. Now in Chicago, I think you're sometimes Chicago is number 2, maybe Washington D.C. is number 2. So you're like next, probably number 2 or number 3 on the most ridership. So, but we beat everybody here. The subway is the lifeblood of New York City. All right. So, and there's still not enough subway lines, to be honest with you. So, we're gonna start with the ongoing. This is for the weekdays this week, so June 13th to June 17th. We're gonna start with the ongoing. So the ongoing here is that every morning. I think this is gonna last for a while, and this one is from 7:20 a.m. to 8:50 a.m. and this is Monday through Friday. Some of the southbound 5 trains will be going on the 2 train from 3rd Avenue 149th Street. Actually, I'm sorry, 149th Street Grand Concourse, rather. Same thing, but it'll either go to 2 directions. So it'll follow the 2 train, and then it'll go to Rector Street. Or it'll go this way. Some of the 5 trains, of course. And it'll go on the 2, and then after that, it's going to go on the 4 to Crown Heights, Utica Avenue. But it's only for about 90 minutes early in the morning. Next thing is, so 9:45 a.m. to 3 p.m. So northbound F trains will be skipping Avenue U. Next thing, we're going to go to the nighttime. We're actually going to go down here. So 9:30 p.m. to 5 a.m. southbound A train and C train go local between 59th Street and West 4th Street. And then it actually is going to go to the F line from West 4th Street to J Street. And then 10:45 p.m. to 5 a.m. northbound D train going to go up here. By the way, it's in chronological order, so you may see me go all over the place. Northbound D stops at 135th Street, and northbound A and C trains are express between 125th and 168th, but it'll stop at 145th. Keep in mind, C trains end late nights, and once they end, unless if there are these advisories, such as northbound A train going express, usually for the most part, A train's going to go local. Also for ongoing 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. on weekdays, there's no Q train between Atlantic Avenue and Prospect Park. You'll need to take a shuttle bus. Next thing, this is just a reminder, this is in New Jersey Transit. So this one, there's no trains between Secaucus Junction and Spring Valley. So this one will be 8:45 a.m. to 3 p.m. and you're gonna have to use buses. So first part is the local bus runs between Secaucus and Newbridge Landing. The express bus runs the entire route, but it's express, so it's going to skip all the stops between Newbridge Landing and Secaucus. And that's usually the general part here. For train 1622, which leaves 8:50 a.m. from Spring Valley, there are 3 bus sections. So one part is between Spring Valley and Pearl River, so this one section, and it goes express to Secaucus Junction. Second part is from Montvale to Newbridge Landing, over here, and express skips all these 4 stops. Then another part is Newbridge Landing and Secaucus Junction local. And the alternative, if you're gonna go between Westwood over here and Essex, you can take bus 165, and that runs from Port Authority Bus Terminal right around here to Westwood. The other thing, so this is the PATH trains here, it's 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. The 9th and 23rd Streets stations are closed, so the PATH trains will skip those stations. So you need to use 33rd, 14th, or Christopher Streets. That's your ongoing. Let's go to this week. So LIRR, so June 13th to 16th, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's no Long Island Railroad trains east of Ronkonkoma. So you're going to be taking the bus between Ronkonkoma and Greenport. Next thing, back to the subway. So this is commuter rail, by the way. Back to the subway here. The Tuesday to Friday. So this one is 6:14 to 6:17, 9:45 a.m. to 3 p.m. So southbound 4 trains will skip Mosholu Parkway. Now the next thing on the 7 trains. So this is Monday through Friday, 9:45 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's going westbound 7 trains express between Metz Willets Point and 74th Street Broadway. It's going to stop at Broadway Junction. I mean, not Broadway Junction, Junction Boulevard. Don't get it confused. It's Junction Boulevard. Tuesday only, 6:14. Okay, this is from 9:45 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're gonna go to the D train. So there's no D train between Bay 50th Street and Stillwell Avenue. You can take a shuttle bus here, or you can transfer on the N train, and then you can go to Coney Island from there. The next thing I have is Newark Light Rail, right over here. So Newark Light Rail is actually going to skip Washington Park. You're going to have to use at the Atlantic Station. So pay attention to that. Back to the subway. So we're going to get to here, this little section here between Marcy Avenue and Myrtle Avenue. This one is Myrtle Avenue Broadway, so you don't get confused with this one, Myrtle Wyckoff. And from 6:14 to 6:17, this is 9:45 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So westbound J&M trains is local between Myrtle and Marcy. Z train's only rush hours. Actually, Z train's gonna end pretty early, so due to the track work. And then eastbound J&M Trains Express gonna go here between Marcy and Myrtle Broadway. All right, now you can switch trains, or you can take the B46 bus to catch up on the missed stops. Next thing, we're gonna go to the 2 train in the Bronx, and northbound 2 is express between Gun Hill Road and 241st Street. An alternative you can use is BX39 bus. That's your daytime. Let's go to the nighttime. All right. So the 2 train here, there's no 2 train between Chambers Street and Atlantic Avenue, right over here. This is Atlantic Avenue here. So 2 trains will run in 2 parts between, first one's 241st Street, and then you go all the way down to South Ferry, and then you have to use alternate routes. So you can use you can transfer here, you can at Times Square 42nd Street, and then connect to that. All right, you can take the anxiety train, or the A train as they call it, and then connect to there. Those kinds of things. Usually in the Manhattan area, the train stations are pretty close. All right. So the second section runs between Atlantic and Flatbush, this section here. Just letting you know that westbound 2 trains express between Franklin and Atlantic. It skips these 3 stations here. Next thing, there's no 3 trains south of 42nd Street. So, yep, right here, the square, that means no 3 trains going south of 42nd Street. And early on, the 4 train will actually go replace the 3 train, and it'll go local in Brooklyn, and it'll go to New Lots, as you can see here. Next thing, southbound F trains in Manhattan will skip 23rd and 14th Street. Also, Monday through Wednesday, westbound E and R trains, but mainly the E trains, will be expressed between Roosevelt Avenue and Queens Plaza. Next thing, on the G train, there's no G train between Bedford Nostrand Avenue and Court Square. You have to use the bus for this big section. Next thing, northbound N and Q trains express between Canal and 57th Street, 7th Avenue. What it'll do is it will skip Prince, 8th Street, 23rd, 28th Streets, and 49th Streets. So lots of changes here. Next thing, 10:45 p.m. to 5 a.m., we're going to focus on the 155th Street. So on 6/13, so June 13th, from 10:45 p.m. on 6/13 to 5 a.m. on 6/14. So it's going to last for about another hours as we speak. Northbound actually southbound rather, will skip 155th Street on June 15th from 10:45 p.m. to 5 a.m. It'll go the other way. Northbound will skip 155th Street on the D train. Next thing, 6:13. So Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. So eastbound A and C trains down here will be local between Utica and Euclid. So this whole section over here. Next thing is, and this one is only for this time, so June 13th, 11:45 p.m. to 5 a.m. It's only for that day. So there's no 3 trains. All right, so what happened to this section? You can either use M7, M102, or the shuttle bus between 135th Street and 148th Street. Next thing is northbound 4 train is express between 149th Street, Grand Concourse here, and Burnside. So we'll skip these 4 stops. And also Yankee Stadium, so skips 5 stops rather. Also, see this here? There's supposed to be an S train here. So S train, the 42nd Street shuttle, will be running in this section over here for all week basically, at least for the weekdays. Next thing is there's no R train from 11:45 p.m. to 5 a.m. And this section over here, you have to use the bus between 59th Street and 95th Street in Brooklyn. And then all the other ones, you can use the N train or the D train. And finally, this is only for June 15th, so 11:45 p.m. to 5 a.m. There's no 7 train east of Metz Willets Point. Let me put this in the middle. So there's a bus that runs between Metz Willets Point and Flushing Main Street. All right, so did my review for Brooklyn Comic Con, and this is the rail report. A lot of stuff going on here, and I want to say thank you very much to Ordinary Clover. Thank you to my 2 of the mods who came in, Triforce Delgizi and DJ Nicky Zem, for coming. I truly appreciate it, even if you're lurking and not watching it. I appreciate the support. Now let's find someone to raid. Let's see, who can I raid? Let's see. Wow, where's Shelby? Shelby's not here? Oh, okay. It's first playthrough Dark Side. What is that? Anyway, so I'll go to Patchwork. One of my favorites. This is actually, I think, Senor Shelby's co-worker, I think. So he's amazing. He's a piano player as well. So he plays piano in the stream, and he's an Animal Crossing streamer as well. So let's do it. All right. So again, thank you to everyone who's come in. All right, and in the words of DJ Nicky Zem, I hope you all stay healthy and safe as always. Y en las palabras de Doctora Ana María Polo, he dicho, boom, transmisión cerrada. Have a good night. I will see you Friday night. Peace.